Call the meeting to order, 7 o'clock. Present is Sue Braska.
Jean Nielsen.
Mackenzie Kane.
Jessica Pelly.
Tammy Spencer.
So I'm looking at these minutes, Jess, the ones from last time, and I still have additions.
Okay.
Do I have those?
I think the new ones are the page that didn't have all the signature down by
Oh,
the
maybe.
with the spacing. That's probably what you're talking about, so.
Is there a second set of minutes?
The ones from the last
Yeah.
meeting that I had corrections, I just made one copy.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Got it.
So you're missing,
So, see if you can read my writing. I'm still trying to clarify that bylaw from the planning board. And, Miss,
Here, let me-
say that there's no Board of Health permit related to the bylaw in question. The health director would sign off on the building occupancy permit. The bylaw in question addresses trailer usage in the event of a catastrophe such as a fire to a business or a home.
Okay. And you want me to put that
Well, just right after
right
the
after?
bylaw in question.
Okay, all right.
And I don't even know, I don't even remember the name, the number of that bylaw. Do you,
Right
Tammy?
here. It's up
Oh,
here.
it's that one there, okay. Okay, a minute. Yeah, we didn't talk about it.
Okay, so just put that in there and then,
Yeah, and if you could read my writing.
yeah, I think I got it.
If you want to tomorrow, if you're in, you can float it by me, just make sure.
Okay.
So it's right there.
All right,
Yeah.
perfect.
I just wanted that in there. Okay, so this is this one.
I do like on the minutes how I was also in attendance, like the option is.
The one
The way, I never,
Oh,
I guess I've
that
never
was
noticed-
standard. I just
I guess
adopted
I've never
that.
noticed that.
We
that part.
we don't need that there. It was also in attendance.
Like, yeah, she can choose to show up if she wants.
Yes, let's get rid of that.
I did not mess with any of that.
I guess I never noticed that there before.
It must have always been there.
Yeah. You know what it is? It's whatever font is on that program is just so much brighter than what you used to use. I think it's just everything sort of stands.
Really?
I don't know. It just stands out to me.
I didn't think I changed it, but
Oh,
who the heck knows?
all right.
Do we want to put in here, we talked about the numbers, COVID numbers?
It should be in there under COVID discussion. Didn't I put the numbers in there?
Yes, COVID-19 discussion, bottom of page 2.
What page is that?
Page 2.
I guess I don't have a page two.
I don't have page 2 either.
Oh, come on.
It's on the back, it's
seriously.
flipped.
I don't have it.
Oh, no. Yeah, I was missing that too.
I have 1-3.
How does that happen?
I don't know, it's double printed.
You didn't press double-sided. I was wondering for a 2-hour meeting, it was kinda short.
Double-sided, it would just be 1 page, 2 page, 3 page, right?
Yeah, I'll read it after you read it, unless you want to read it to us.
Did you finish, Mackenzie?
Yeah, I just don't have a pen. The only thing I noticed was on the back, it says next meeting is September 9th.
Oh, I
Yeah,
already
because
changed that.
Yeah,
I already changed
it's,
that, yeah.
it is
Plenty.
correct, just not on
Yeah.
that one.
Oh, I see, okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, I picked that up.
I do have that.
I
Oh,
don't do,
that's why.
I don't do
because-
grammar checks. Am I supposed to be spell checking these?
Yes, everything.
Oh, really?
That one probably has some,
'Cause
because
they're public
I don't know
record.
if you heard,
You wanna
Me,
read it
but-
together?
Yes, we
Yeah, the
read
Adobe
together.
something.
yeah,
Okay.
so when I went in.
Did you already read them?
No, no.
So
I
the
just read them
correct
for
words are
context.
Do you want to huddle in too?
I'll wait till
I'll
you're
probably be
done.
there a month or someday.
We'll keep my social distance.
Thank God for the computer.
Granville Road was closed again today.
Mm-hmm.
I got stuck there trying to go to an inspection.
Oh, really?
No, I had to turn around, go down Conrad.
It was closed when I came down from the scoop, but by the time we got on the buses, it was open, so that was good. Because that would have been a little bit of a nightmare.
What is happening?
I don't know. Today was just,
I couldn't even see what it was because there were so many vehicles.
It was
that
a
were
tree
backed up.
down
It was
and
a
brought
tree.
down the power lines.
There were so many, there was a bunch of cement trucks trying to go that way.
oh, really?
And so I'm like, oh, I guess I'll just turn around. And they were getting out, standing in the road. I'm like, I don't think that's smart. But
Really?
yeah, because no one could figure out what it was because the line of cars was so long.
Oh, so maybe it just happened and they hadn't like detoured it yet or
Maybe.
something?
No, it wasn't detoured yet.
Oh.
But I felt like it was really early to receive the, because then the text came about the buses or whatever, and I'm like, well, wasn't that at like 10:45?
Well, yeah, because I think they had called her or whatever and said they were not going to be out of the way by the time buses came.
Oh.
But then they did end up being out of the way. So I think she, or whoever does it, sends out the message or
Really?
what have you. But then they did end up being out of the way.
I need like one of those radios, like a dispatch radio in my car.
They can be quite entertaining on the bus, I'll tell you.
We have one in the office, but no one's figured out how to use it without Melissa. It's true.
Oh, that's funny.
So I've been at the Big Day E, and they have the indoor mask mandate.
Mustn't be doing too good.
No, 10% of the people maybe wear them.
So there's nobody really enforcing it, it's just there.
No, they have signs up, and no, they would need somebody at every single door.
Yeah, that's what we think.
Yeah, it's not gonna, the people that wanna wear them, wear them. The people that don't, and it's the majority of the people.
Okay. Are you done?
Yeah, I am, Tammy just has to review it.
Here's some,
Thank you.
just little and that's,
There have had 4 cases?
yeah, didn't I correct that?
There have been 4 cases? Or there had been? Maybe you meant to mark off the word had?
Oh, I marked off the wrong word?
Yeah.
Oh, I knew it didn't sound right, so.
Okay, so we're going to still table the minutes from, which is the ones I gave you.
19, 8:19, 8:19.
All right, so those are gonna be corrected. And are we gonna approve these minutes, or are we gonna wait till Jess makes the corrections and approve them the next meeting? Or do you want to approve them with the corrections, as is now?
Corrections were minor, so
All right, so I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as of, were they September
9th.
9th minutes? Second?
Second that.
Mackenzie seconds it, all in favor?
I,
We're on tape, so do we have to say Sue, aye?
No, I don't think so. She just needs to be able to
Okay.
write them in the minutes.
Okay, so we're all in favor?
yeah, it's not like Zoom.
No, I didn't know because it's recorded.
Yeah.
Okay, Doug, Peter, have anything you want to talk about that's not on the agenda? No? Okay, we'll run along. Health Director's report.
It's been a busy 2 weeks. A lot of perk tests.
Can you guys hear okay?
Yep.
All right.
Let's see, repair perks at 80 South Long Yard, 98 Sheep Pasture Road, 12 Patriots Way, and 260 Granville Road. 2 new lots at Lot 15 Noble Steed Crossing and 370 North Loomis Road.
And who's doing them?
All different people. You want to know each one? Or
Just an idea, like,
Ryan Nelson with Arlo Vec, Dennis LaCourse, Lori McCool, and Lori McCool.
okay.
The final septic inspections for repairs, 85 Powder Mill Road and 24 Will Palmer, and new ones at 7 Honeybird Road, and that's not right.
Where's Honeybird?
The greens.
Oh, okay.
That's not right. That's last month. New at, no new.
No new?
No new finals. Finally got a lot of paperwork back from Dennis, so I approved septic plans for repairs at 85 Powder Mill Road, 10 Reservoir Road, 51 Tannery Road, and 62 Davis Road, and 1 new at 3 Noble Steed Crossing.
So how many more do you have? Do you know conservation, how many more conservation has?
That's it, because I think
We're caught up?
81 was the only one we were, 81. I didn't write that one down. Because that was today. 81 South Loomis is also a repair. Let's see. Today we had to do a housing inspection for a house fire at 49 Point Grove Road. Not a lot of interior damage, but there's some water infiltration, but they're already hired a company to work on that.
Cost by what?
Electrical fire on the outside of the house.
Ooh.
Yeah. I had Kyle come with me just to make sure the electrical part was taken care of correctly. Scratch out that code enforcement, that's from last week too. Final food inspection over at Sunflower Smoothie, and they opened up last week. For trainings, they continue to have the weekly public health interagency conference calls. I attended an FDA retail food protection seminar. That's the program that the grant for the Food Co Pro that Tom had got was from. And today we had an LAPC meeting. And then, let's see, this is from last week, but we're still, the flu clinic's still on for October 6th, 9 to noon. COVID-19 numbers, right now we have 16 cases in isolation, and there is a new feature on Maven that reports vaccination status, and
Of the people?
yeah, so at least 5 reported having the vaccine, but that doesn't mean that there isn't more. They could have just not been asked in that period.
So nobody hospitalized?
That stuff's not really in there, unless someone's directly called.
But now with follow-up though, would Ashley find that out?
It really depends. I make sure Ashley follows up with all of the juvenile cases, but if it's an adult, we can have that go to the CTC, because then they can do all the contact tracing with it.
How many juvenile cases?
3 out of 16.
Okay, so it's 16 in isolation, meaning 16 positives,
Yeah.
which
So-
is down from
It
previous
is.
meetings.
It is. Even our 2-week, our 2-week reporting period is down. So that's not this week. So this might not reflect everybody that's in isolation right now. But for the last 2 weeks, we had 23 cases. We had 663 people test, which is, let's see, the highest we've had since May. No. Yeah, May.
You said
63.
660.
Tested positive.
No. Took tests.
Okay, took test.
23 people tested positive.
And that's what period?
That was the previous 2 weeks.
But of those, you said how many are in isolation? 12?
16.
16.
16. So that could mean a lot of different things. They could still be sick, but that if you go back and do a 10-day isolation period. So if I start from today and go back 11 days, that would be all the people that would technically be in isolation.
Okay, so then the last meeting, we had 22 people, right? About the same?
25.
22 to 25.
Yep. Here, I'll
So we
just, that's gonna go up tomorrow.
So we just downed to.
Yep. And FDA announced Pfizer's been approved for a booster for those 65 and up with a 6-month period in between. So that's the next thing that Cindy Sullivan at the Council on Aging and I are gonna try to start arranging boosters for probably in the winter, I guess.
So booster, Pfizer?
Pfizer, that's the one that's been approved so far.
And you're gonna try to arrange something with downstairs?
Well, because she's the senior center
Yeah.
and 65 and up. And it's also the best location because the access is so easy for people there than say
Yeah.
the auditorium. Because the auditorium, depending on where they park, they have a really far way to
Yeah.
walk. So,
And who are you thinking of administering it?
the mobile unit again.
Curative? Is that what it is?
If that's who they assign to us.
Okay.
So, our contact has left for another job, so we really do have to go through the state in order to get get them to come. So it could be it could be curative, it could be a different, I can't think of the other name. I know they're off of Watson or something like that, Springfield, but I think
Now-
that would work.
You were talking about it on the news tonight, so I left before Liz do it. So it's going to be for people who've had it 8 months ago?
Six.
Or 6.
6.
6 now, not 8.
Now it's 6.
And so how are you going to do this? Do you have to check their card?
I would
What if it's 5 months or 4 months?
I would assume that. I'm not going to make any assumptions on how the private vendors operate, though.
Okay.
And that is that.
How about what happened at Tucker's?
What happened at Tucker's?
Did they have a fire or something behind there?
Oh, that was in
Nobody
Sandusfield,
The Tuckers in Sandersfield?
wasn't it? It's something something Tuckers.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I don't remember the
All right.
exact name, but I think
Okay.
that
I
was,
thought Tuckers had something behind their building.
wasn't it?
All right.
Yeah, it wasn't. Unless this Tuckers had an issue too, but.
You said you were gonna talk to them at North Pond, the Lake Management Committee.
I did.
And what we did, and what's the story? About getting trash barrels there or something, or,
No, I didn't talk to them.
no? Because it was in the minutes.
It's in the minutes?
Yeah. Wasn't it in the minutes?
I thought you were gonna reach.
Yeah, but you were
let
gonna
me
reach
see
out
what I
to them
wrote.
about, we can't do the porta potties, but if there's something we can do with picking up trash there, or any ideas they have on
I
keeping the
wrote.
area clean.
It's under Lake Management's jurisdiction. Tammy will speak with Lake Management to see if they have any plans to get maintenance groups together.
I don't remember that.
I might have misheard. I am way
No,
down
no,
here at the
no.
other end of the table.
Read a note.
Because that, they didn't even talk about it at the last LFC meeting.
Do you know that contact I gave you, was he included, he was included on your text back to me, or your email back to me, wasn't he?
What contact?
About the porta potties being under,
Oh, him? He
Mhm.
contacted me individually.
oh, he did?
Yeah, so I've been in contact with him.
Oh, you have been, okay.
And I
good.
told him the same thing I told everybody else.
All right, okay.
It's really in, this morning, in their hands and in the police hands.
All right. And then that pesticide thing, no, you can't find the regular act?
And I thought at the
Only
last
the
meeting,
amendments?
you guys voted that you're not gonna
Right,
be.
I know, but I just want to look.
That is all that's on the website.
Yeah.
Like, and it says bill attached or bill accompanied, but there's nothing
There's
on
nothing there.
You can just, and you can keep Googling it over and over again, and that's all that comes up. And you go to the MGL, the Commonwealth MGL page, and that's all that comes up on that as well. The most that came up is from her article that she sent us. That's the most comprehensive thing that I've come across.
And maybe that's it.
Yeah.
Maybe this is the act? I don't know.
The act basically builds upon other laws, and that's why it's really not very exciting looking when you look at it.
Doug, you have any questions?
Nope.
Peter?
When it comes to boosters, and you may or may not know this, but are you, and this is probably something that's decided by the clinic people themselves, will it only go to people that had Pfizer before?
As far as I know, no.
So if you had Moderna 6 or however many months ago, the third dose you get will be Pfizer in this case?
What have you heard, Mackenzie?
I think as far as Pfizer and Moderna, because they're made of the same composition, just different dosages of the active agent, I believe so. Johnson & Johnson, I'm not sure.
Okay,
Because
so
Johnson &
next
Johnson has a
question.
different composition versus
Right.
Pfizer and Moderna. I can't tell you definitively though.
Right,
Um,
that's what I've heard too, but I don't know if they're actually acting on that information or not.
yeah, that is a good question.
The approval came like right after the state's weekly meeting. So hopefully next Tuesday, they'll have more information on that for us, because it always happens right afterwards. And then everybody wants to know, which, to the clarity, they don't like to put anything in writing.
Right.
Ever.
Because then it can be used against them.
You gotta wait for it. They won't write it even in the comments in the Q&A section. If someone says it verbally, and somebody asks for it in the Q&A section, they'll say this has been answered verbally.
Nice.
It's helpful, huh?
Yeah, very helpful.
All right, what's going on with the schools? So what happens if if a student tests positive in a classroom of 20 kids? Do they go to Zoom?
Their nurses determine the close contacts, and those kids get quarantined. And
Haven't they implemented the rapid testing?
we haven't had a safety team meeting for a couple
Oh.
of weeks, so I haven't heard much about what's going on in the schools.
The last
Maybe last
school
3
meeting
weeks.
board before school started, they said, oh, we're starting the new school year with these rapid testing for that exact reason, so we don't have to pull kids from their desks and send them home. but I don't actually know.
Yeah, so who's doing the rapid testing?
I would assume the school nurse,
School nurses.
right? I don't know though.
And what, 50% sensitivity?
Did they get the rapid test? As of the last meeting, they
The
didn't,
last time
right?
I had spoke with them, they hadn't.
They spoke, I'm sorry to talk out of turn, they
Sure.
spoke a bunch about it at the school committee meeting on Tuesday. Sounds like they have it, they were just kind of explaining how it's supposed to work. Don't quote me on that.
Okay.
So they don't include
Use
you
the
in,
newspaper.
on the meetings anymore, or they used to have Kate and you?
We don't have weekly meetings anymore.
No.
We had weekly meetings pretty much all last year. We met once at the beginning of the month. And that's the only meeting. Individually, I keep in touch with Marcia when we have positive cases in the school system, but we have not been having routine meetings.
Well, in the last 3 weeks, we've had 3 pediatric cases, so that kind of gives you a general idea that it's not running like wildfire within our schools,
Yeah.
right?
Our bump was before school started, not during school.
Oh, yeah, because.
Yeah. Which I guess shows that whatever they're doing in there is working and not what we do at home apparently.
There you go.
Okay, and what's going on with the nurse? Our grant.
I'm waiting for the contract. It should be, I was hoping today, but hopefully tomorrow I'll get the contract. And then once I do, we can start on the process of advertising. So that'd be great.
So it's gonna be for 3 years, 1.5.
At a minimum of 3 years, but it could be forever.
Okay, and 1.5.
One and a half.
All right. Is that it for our meeting?
No,
30 minutes? Go ahead.
The Board of Health hybrid meeting discussion. Did you have the owl?
We
I
have to
see the
decide
owl.
whether, do we just want to go with recording our minutes, our meetings, and just doing hard copy minutes? Do we want to go with a hybrid meeting?
We're still having hard copy minutes.
Yeah, we're going to have
You
hard
have
copy
that.
minutes and we have a recording. Do we want to do this also?
The
If we
owl.
do this, do you record us also?
No,
It records
it records
it
for
to
us.
Zoom.
It's basically visually a very similar platform for how Zoom looks. I got to do this, be part of it this morning for the LAPC meeting. And it's basically just a very, well, when it lights up, there's eyes. It looks like an owl. And this just gives this
Yeah. How do we know
360 view.
who's watching though?
There will be a separate, because I
Like a
remember it was
monitor?
sort of like Cindy was on the side.
Yes, what,
If
So
she
you
louder.
you just can interact with, like, so you know who you're interacting with.
That'll be on either,
Okay.
so we do it
there's
on
gonna be
screen,
a
right?
TV on this screen, on this
Okay.
wall,
Mhm.
or that wall, I'm not sure which one yet,
Yeah.
right? There'll be a display over there,
Mm-hmm.
and you will see the remote participants on that wall. If someone's sharing a screen or something like that, you'd also see it over there. So when you guys were remote and you did Zoom, you kind of had that Brady Bunch looking screen on your laptop or whatever, right? What this does is, that what we've experienced so far is, as we've come back to in-person meetings and offering hybrid, we didn't have a good solution. Fully remote's easy, right? You open Zoom and it was what it was, but it was easily doable. What happened was when you came back in person and you had people that wanted to take advantage of remote participation or join the meeting remotely, we didn't have a good solution. There was no good way to present the people all together in a room with the audience and a board, and also see the people on Zoom. So in this room, for example, we've used this projector over here as a temporary until the displays are installed, right? But they can project the Zoom meeting part on here. This thing, what it does, is sits there, or what we've done very well is moving this table over here and having the owl sit on that table. And it shows the entire 360 of the room flattened out across the screen. So for people remote, get an excellent view of the entire room. And when someone is speaking, the owl will move and split the screen accordingly to show the person speaking. So if Tammy was speaking and then I was speaking, or if we were carrying on a conversation, it would show us both. And then you'd also have the wrap of the whole room across the top of the screen. It's really amazing how it works.
Yeah,
And
where
it
did we
makes
get
for-
this?
Huh?
Where did we get this? Or is it yours, or?
No, the town has bought 3,
Okay,
and the Board of Selectmen is encouraging boards and commissions to adopt the hybrid capability. One, it allows people to participate in government and join a meeting remote. We're trying to,
Yeah.
we've also seen as different boards are taking different approaches, we've had boards that are in-person only, we have boards that are Zoom only, we have boards that are doing hybrid, and then we have some boards that have done all 3 of them in the course of a couple of months. So
okay.
it becomes a little bit confusing even for the public to, if there's a meeting at 6 and 7, one's in person, one's on Zoom, it becomes hard to do. If you're offering hybrid, they can join via Zoom for both, right? Or go from one to the other. So it also provides the recording that we'd like to have. And it makes for and also for board members, if you're ill, if you're not feeling well, you're able to attend and participate in a meeting via remote.
Okay, a couple questions. When you want to go back and you want to listen, you go on the site and you want to listen to somebody's meeting,
Yes?
do we see it like a Zoom meeting, or do you just hear the recording?
You can see the meeting.
You can see the meeting.
So now the minutes, the recorded, will be visual as opposed to before where it was just audio?
Correct.
Okay, also, how do you allow someone to speak who's,
So what we're gonna have is, you don't, the whole kit, when we're all set and done here, is it's not just gonna be the owl. We're actually gonna have almost like a little suitcase. It's gonna have a laptop in it, and it's gonna have the owl and the power cord and everything else. There'll be a little box on this desk where you'll plug in the owl and the cable for the monitor, and either the board secretary or your designee or someone on the board who's proficient with Zoom, it becomes the Zoom meeting moderator. For some meetings, for a while, if you want it, we can have somebody come and help through that process and attend a couple of meetings to kind of walk through it. And it's just like you did it on whoever was moderating your meeting on Zoom when we were in the pandemic and we weren't meeting at all. You admit people and they can raise their hand there's a hand raising function in Zoom to see who wants to be recognized. And also keep in mind, it's also part of the open meeting law. It is part of how the chair chooses to run their meeting, right? You've allowed me to speak in this meeting. Past public comment, it is up to the chair whether they allow public participation in a meeting. Open meeting law is public observation of the meeting, right? So that's totally up to the chair. So I don't think it changes the cadence or flavor of a meeting, but I think it's going to allow people that want to attend a meeting that maybe aren't comfortable coming down to town hall, can't come down to town hall or whatever, to partake. And we'll see. I could be, we could be way wrong. I mean, we looked at the numbers through all of the pandemic. How many people came to a Board of Health meeting besides myself and Joe, right?
Peter.
And Peter. Sorry, Peter.
That's
And
it.
Peter, right?
that's it?
It was slim pickings, right? But, with all the other, there's been a lot of activity in town over the last several months. There's been a lot more uptake in people coming to meetings. There's been people attending Board of Selectmen meetings on Zoom and in person. And looking at the attendance, it seems some people come in person, then the next week they're remote or whatever. But we've been offering the hybrid Zoom option for,
So what do you do?
A while.
The people are muted until
Yep.
they raise their hand and then somebody unmutes
and
them?
you
Just-
then you just
just
ask
like
them to
how I did
unmute, yeah?
Yep, on Zoom.
So what
Then-
he's pretty much saying is during public comment, you would unmute them and then you could just keep them muted for the rest of the meeting if you
Okay.
don't want anybody else to talk.
Yeah, and then you can
Correct.
ask, or there's questions or whatever, and they
Yeah.
can raise their hands or whatever. And who's gonna run this? Who's gonna set it up? Who's gonna,
We are, he just said that he would send somebody for a couple meetings.
Yeah, we certainly can send someone down for a few meetings to show you how it works. Jeannie's participated in one hybrid Zoom already. I've seen, at least one, right? So, and she's operated many Zoom meetings of her own accord, so it's really no different. And Matt,
Yes.
thank you.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to speak on everybody's
No, you
behalf.
can speak.
No problem, I just wanted to,
We're not,
so you all
we're
saw.
not a rigid board like the selectmen. Or the select board.
Select board.
Select
May I
board,
approach your
excuse me.
bench, Your Honor?
So,
It's hard, it's been selectmen for
Yes, you
20
may.
years.
I like that.
It's been select forever.
She just said may I first branch.
may I
Like
approach
in
the
court.
bench?
Your
Uh-oh.
Honor, may I approach the bench?
So this plugs into the laptop,
Mhm.
and it just takes over where your laptop camera would be. There's no technical piece to it. If you've worked Zoom before, you can run a hybrid Zoom meeting. That's all this does, and this just takes over and provides the video and audio. When people speak,
It just
audio
provides a
comes
better
out of here.
view
Oh,
than your
it's incredible.
screen, right?
Yeah.
I saw Rhett and Cindy do it, like
Yep.
that.
Okay, but it's not required, as long as we have, in fact, we don't even have to have the minutes recorded, right, according to,
I don't.
It is our
Law.
well,
But
According to
according
open
to the
meeting
new,
law.
according to the amended open meeting law, I believe recording.
it's been the protocol from the Board of Selectmen that all board meetings are supposed to have an
Right,
audio
but-
recording.
but
And that-
who supersedes what? The open meeting law supersedes what the select board says, or the select board supersedes the open meeting law?
So the superseding, the open
hard
meeting
to say,
law
5 times
governs
that.
it all. But I believe until April 22nd, we either have to record it or have detailed minutes within 24 hours posted. I think that's still in the open meeting.
Not an expert. Even prior to the pandemic, boards were supposed to, by the request, let's call it a request of
Request.
the Board of Selectmen, to have a continuous audio recording of the meeting from the opening till the adjournment,
Was there a
which is
suggestion?
supposed to be turned into the town clerk. Those audio minutes were then posted on the town website for anyone who wanted to get them. Because a lot of boards, frankly, fall behind with their minutes, and they don't meet very often, so having that as available as a public record was a useful tool for the public. Because it's the actual recording. You can go over the minutes and edit them and change them out, to technical pieces, but what happened and transpired at the meeting, the recording is actual. This just adds the video component to it and allows for remote participation. And we're allowed to do that through at least March of next year, subject to further legislation to make it permanent.
Okay, so our options are minutes, recorded plus minutes, or minutes plus owl, right?
And
Three
just
options.
one last
Three
point, and then
options.
I'll get out of your hair, is the Board of Selectmen is strongly urging boards and commissions in the town to provide the hybrid option, and we're gonna support that with the audio-visual
Okay.
pieces that you
Right,
need
right.
for every board, so that we provide a consistent experience to the public.
May I speak?
Yes, you may.
As a secretary to other boards and committees, using this OWL, it was a great tool. However, I didn't have a laptop at my last one.
Here you, they're on order.
You cannot give one laptop to this secretary and this secretary doesn't have one. We have to have access to or be provided the proper equipment to run that.
Completely 100% agree with you, and that's why we ordered them, and we're gonna have almost like a little to-go suitcase. It's gonna have the OWL plus the laptop, and it's a kit, and it'll be able to move around, right? So if there's a meeting in the land use room tonight, finance committee has a meeting down somewhere else, someone's in the auditorium, we'll have 3 of these, so
Okay,
we'll be
when
able
you
to support
when you
3
getting them?
simultaneous meetings.
When are you getting them, and when are they gonna be ready?
The laptops are on order, as far as I know, those were ordered in the last couple of days. At least 2 of them are en route, and then they have a contractor coming to do the wiring for the displays. In the interim, we have a projector on a cart that we can use, and we can arrange to have a laptop available to use.
Can I utilize just the laptop I have?
And you can absolutely just use
Yeah.
the laptop you already have, right? If you already have a laptop, but not every secretary, board secretary has their own town-issued laptop. But
And you don't have to have it projected on the wall, you can actually just see it on the wall.
whatever works for your board. Board of Selectmen, we've been using the auditorium.
The select board?
Thank you. Select Board has been using the auditorium, and then we project to the screen in the front of the auditorium the Zoom portion, and then the OWL sitting out in front. And it pretty well covers that room. This room is the ideal size for the OWL. It really works well in this room.
So is this something you'd be interested in once they get the kits, the laptops and all that?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. Because everybody, you know, always has something to say about town government, so I think it's the perfect avenue for everybody to participate. Because everybody's gonna say, oh, it's too late at night, it's a school night, it's this.
Do you know how many people participate at other meetings, right?
0, I know.
Yeah.
But because it's a school night and it's too late and I can't make it down here, I can't drive at night. But if you have
You're thinking you're thinking the public or the
public,
members? Okay.
yeah, the public will have at least the platform, right? You can lead a horse to water. So we're making it very public and very user friendly. I think it's a great idea.
What do you think, Jane? You've been using it?
I've been using it. You know, I mean, like you said, I don't feel like coming down tonight, it's too late, it's a school night.
Right, that's why people don't participate in their town government because they're always gonna maybe find a reason not to, but.
Even with the owl, I don't think we're gonna have a lot of participation. However,
I don't disagree with that statement at all, but,
there are certain topics on certain boards
yeah.
that invite the public. And there has been the hybrid meetings that I've been the secretary for. There have been members of the public as well as live. And it works. So it doesn't faze me either way.
I think that we're the Board of Health, and if there's any board that should be doing this, it should be us.
However, you don't feel like coming, I don't feel like coming, you don't feel like coming. You're in Chicopee. You have to come.
Oh, come on.
There's not a choice.
I don't
You
feel like
have
this
to
is like
have-
a, I don't feel like coming thing. I mean, it's a,
I was exaggerating, okay?
yeah.
There was boards and commissions that met through the pandemic where members were out of state and they were able to participate in their board that they ordinarily, a year before, were unable to do so.
But that's my point. You have to have
One person here, yeah.
one person.
One person here. And I think if your board is doing hybrid, you should endeavor to have as many of your board as comfortable as you could be here, right? Because it would be kind of awkward if 5 people showed up and there's one board member, but it works. I believe under the open meeting law, as long as you have the requisite number of members in attendance, either virtually or in
Yeah.
person, you
Right.
can conduct your meetings.
So the entire board could actually be Zoom and only Tammy and
No,
Justin
I have terrible
here.
connection where I live now, it's even worse, so I'd have to be here. Okay, I make a motion that once you get, is there any more discussion?
I didn't know where you were moving to, I'm sorry.
Okay,
And I would offer, if for your next meeting, try it.
well, I'm not,
Even without the television,
no,
you
I'm
can
gonna make a
establish a
motion that when you
projector.
finally get the kits and you get it all straightened out, we go hybrid.
Once it's established, I'll second that motion.
What do you think? Anybody in favor?
Yeah, that's good with me.
I have no problem
Yeah,
getting this
what
stuff ready
does
for the
you mean
next
the
meeting.
kits?
She
Well,
already
he just
has
said
her,
he's getting-
she already
With the
has a
laptop is
laptop,
already-
she's capable of doing
I
it.
have
Well,
a
you said
Zoom
when you're
app.
gonna get the screens in?
We have a projector we've been using in the interim, and she already has a laptop. So the issue that Jeannie ran into was there was a meeting, and unfortunately there was miscommunication, and no one left Jeannie a laptop to power the owl. So
Can't you see the people on the laptop
Yeah,
though?
you can.
So
we
why
don't-
do
yeah.
you need the projector?
Correct.
You
But there was
don't,
a bigger board meeting, there was people in the
Oh,
audience,
yeah.
and they can't all see it. So it does
Oh,
provide a better
okay.
experience. But you're right, if, like this
If
meeting
it's just
tonight,
us,
it would have
what
been
a what does
perfectly
the
fine, because
projector
there's no
behind
one in
us
the audience
mean?
save for Peter and myself, right? And we don't need to see each other.
All
But,
right, so we can see it right on the laptop. We
Oh,
don't have to
absolutely.
wait for those.
yep,
Like Jean said, you had it like right here or something, you just,
we had it right here and you could see the agricultural committee. You could see all the members of the agricultural committee on a band of picture up here. And then the picture down here were people in the audience. And then there were little Zoom people.
All right, you can see
Remote.
the people in the audience too.
You
if
could
you'd
see
like, I
yours.
can email you a link to a meeting that was held via hybrid, just so you can see it. And or go on the town's YouTube page and look at any of the meetings that have been posted. We've been posting the videos,
Go to the
including the
outcome.
hybrids.
Well, the planning board meetings, they've been hybrid, right?
They've been hybrid and they've
Okay.
been using the
Yeah,
projector.
so.
Yeah.
I've
Or the
been-
select
And I think
board.
last meeting, they didn't even have the projector, they didn't use it.
They just use a
They
laptop.
just used Mike's laptop and a couple other guys had a laptop as well, but you don't need it. You only need one.
Okay, so,
Yeah.
that motion that I just made, how do we get rid of it?
I would like to amend
No,
the
amend it.
emotion.
Amend it.
Amend the emotion, amend the motion,
Right,
and we will just, we'll try it at our next meeting? And our
Great.
next meeting is, what's the date, Jess?
October
don't
seventh.
have it,
7th.
no.
October 7th.
October 7th.
On
And Tammy, you're gonna bring your laptop and set it all up?
That's right across the hall.
And who scheduled the meetings for you previous, when you guys were all remote? So you already have it, so you know how to do it, post it on your agenda, and there you go. It's the same as when you were on, when we were fully remote, you had the little link on the page for people
Yeah.
to click on. It's the same thing.
I'll just make sure that Michelle Hill reviews our agenda and make sure it's
Sure.
you
correct.
have to write on there, per the acts of chapter something, 2000.
She has it.
There's a little caveat you have to add to your
Michelle has
minutes.
it.
So for the,
Just like in our previous.
so for the public, how does the public can just go on our site?
It's a Zoom.
and
Right
they
on the
can just
town
click on
calendar
Zoom?
and click on the
Yeah,
link
just-
from
Just
your
like they
agenda.
always have been,
All right.
or always have been. Does the chair still have to read that whole thing?
No, there's
Oh, okay.
not, there used to be a big thing about we'll post a recording.
See?
Yeah,
We
yeah,
haven't even had to
something
do that. And I don't even know if you're supposed to, but we haven't been doing it anyway.
All right. I know when we were writing it all, when we were reading it all, the planning board wasn't reading it all out.
None of the other boards were.
Just,
I know, just
your board
us.
did a very good job of it. I know the select board also did it.
Oh.
And several boards did, but
They
that's what you're
did?
supposed to do.
None of mine did. Oh, well.
Okay, do we have anything else on here? Okay, so therefore, let's see. On the agenda, do we want anything where after Tammy gives her report, that we just want a general discussion of the report, is that of your report? Or is that necessary, or we can just, because you've already talked about it, we can ask questions and,
I could change it to report and discussion,
all right.
right? Like- Although, previously, before we had discussions about so many other different things, I think there was just discussion period, like, on the old agenda that we had.
At the end of every topic, the chair can say, does anybody have anything to add? Okay?
All right.
But are you referring to the public or just us?
No, I'm just, I'm referring to us, like, for
Yeah.
example, if something comes up today and I have a question, but it's not on the general, it's not specifically on here, and I want to ask it at our meeting, I wonder if you can just have a wide general discussion or question and answer or something like that. You're shaking your head, or is
No,
bobbing
my
your head?
neck is killing me, but sorry.
All right. And I'd like-
Generally, under new business, you can bring stuff up like that.
All right, do we have a new business thing?
New business, old business, and that's what we generally do.
Yeah, maybe we just
We
do
should
a
put that on
a
there.
new business thing, a new business, old business, new business / old business.
But you just, and I'm sorry to interject, but you're usually cautioned to not vote on anything that you just bring up out of the blue. Under new, if it's for discussion, then you would carry it for the next meeting under old business if there's something you need to vote on or take action on.
So just new, yeah, we can add that just as some, something comes up.
You got it, you got it.
All right.
Jean wanted to discuss, the same, we talked about at the last meeting, any COVID-19 orders we may or may not want to put in place, like masks.
Right. Only because, there's other cities and towns that are mandating mask wearing. How does the board feel about requiring masks?
And I think we talked about that before, and the people that want to wear masks are gonna wear masks. The people that don't aren't going to, and we can mandate it in all public buildings that they need to wear masks, but the businesses, are they gonna enforce it if someone goes into their business without a mask? And who's gonna enforce it? And how are you gonna enforce it?
Yeah, I just wanted how the board felt about.
Yeah, a reevaluation of the situation. I feel comfortable where we are right now.
And what's your opinion?
I don't know.
You don't have one?
Well, no, I just wanted to make sure that we were basically all on the same
Yeah.
page, which we are.
I don't wanna have a mandate if there's nobody gonna
No.
enforce it,
That's that's my.
and that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And to enforce it, is there a
There's no
fine? Is there, what
penalties,
is it?
yeah. That's up to the board.
How do you feel?
I feel that things are going in the right direction right now. I don't feel the necessity behind it. I haven't linked cases to going to businesses in town.
Do you honestly think masks help?
Yes.
Oh, I think they help. Just look at the flu season last year. We didn't
It
even
was
have one.
minimal,
We didn't even have one.
and colds, nobody got colds.
Yeah, because everybody had their mask on.
Yeah.
So I really
Yeah,
think
that's
they
one,
help.
mine's still on.
Yeah.
You're smirking.
What?
I got sick once this summer because I went to a museum and now I'm like, I regret it. I was so sick for like 2 weeks.
You had a mask, you didn't wear your mask?
Jess,
I
did you
took
get
it
a
off
cold
to do a
last
couple
year?
activities.
Um,
And I probably rubbed my face
I don't
during that
think
time
so.
period. And
I have no
Have you
idea.
years before?
Yes.
Because all those little
Yes.
germ-infested petri dishes that get
I
on your
know.
butts
Or not.
give you,
Breathing
every
on
year
me
have
and
given you
sneezing on me.
a cold.
I know.
You
It has
wear a
been-
You
mask.
get one last
Hmm.
year.
You wear a mask, right, as a
You
bus
have to.
driver, and all the
Yeah.
kids have to wear masks?
Yeah.
And how do they sit in the bus? Can they sit two in a seat, or how does it, they can't?
Well, most of them have to because there's,
Yeah,
the
there's
buses
no
are
room.
packed.
Yeah.
And you don't
Oh,
have
yeah,
enough
they're
drivers,
packed.
right?
No, I drive every day.
Wow, yeah, okay.
Our mechanic drives. Our boss drives or monitors. Nobody's in the office because we're all out
Driving.
driving or monitoring. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions, Peter, Doug? Anything, Mackenzie, Jean?
I'm good.
You're all set too? Jessica?
I'm good.
You good?
All right, so the next meeting, you said is October 7th? We're
Yes.
gonna try the hybrid,
Yes.
and
I'll make sure it's ready to go.
adjourn the meeting then. Do I
Okay.
have a motion?
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 7:56.
I second that.
All in favor? Oh, I should ask though, at this hybrid, do we have to do a roll call vote?
No.
We do, yeah, because it's
It's
Zoom.
become kind of
Based.
common anyway for the folks on Zoom anyhow, yeah. And it's through the board, it's not really
To do
that
a
much.
roll call?
Yeah.
I'm gonna click
Thank you for
off.
your